Hi, welcome to a tutorial on GIMP. This is the first one in a series of tutorials that are aimed at helping the very beginner. All the proceeds from the $10 donation is going towards Mississauga Humane Society. The pictures featured are actual pictures that we took during our photo shoot at Global Foods Burnham Thorpe location. They were past ones from Valentine's Day and Christmas. And I hope you enjoy the tutorials and come out to the next ones that are going to be for Halloween and Christmas. And if you want, you could contact Global Burnham Thorpe location and ask them when it's going to be. Okay, so now let's get started. I'm going to go to File, Open, and we're going to open up this image. Now it's a raw file which I took. I'm the volunteer photographer that works with Mississauga Humane Society. And it's the actual raw one of one of the photos I took. And I'm going to show you how I do the various editing. Oh, here we go. Down below here is raw therapies. And raw therapy is a GIMP plugin. It's basically for when you want to work with raw photos. If you use JPEG or PNG, it'll work just fine in GIMP. But the raw, it doesn't want to open. So you have to download raw therapy to open up the raw photos. Why do we use raw photos? Well, raw photos have more data. So for editing purposes, it makes it a little better because it can copy more details. But for the average person, JPEG or PNG is just fine as well. You really can't tell the difference unless you do like a blow up and make it like a big mantelpiece. Then you would tell the difference. So here we are in raw therapies. And I'm going to show you how to do some basic editing. We're basically going to just look at exposure and make a few adjustments. So black, make it a little blacker. And the exposure looks pretty good other than that. You could do sharpening, but we don't need to, it's plenty sharp. You could do white balance if there was a problem with the color cast, but there isn't. And we could do selective editing, which I'll show you in another tutorial. For the time being, let's just keep it simple. Let's just keep it as we opened it up. And now we want to save it Here it is. And as soon as you close it, it's going to open it up in GIMP. So let's close it. And you see the wheel spinning. It's doing its thing. It's opening it up. And it asks you if you wanted to convert the colors. Basically, every program has its own slightly different color palette. So you just say convert. So now it's in its own GIMP format, which is XCF. So now we can work on GIMP. Like I said, if you had a PNG or JPEG, you would be at this point with it open. So now let's go into editing. The first thing we want to do is we want to go to colors, shadow highlights, and here you can adjust the shadows. You could left click, go to move it over here, and now we can see as we increase the shadows what it looks like. So that looks pretty good. Shadow color adjustment. Adjust the saturation of shadows. Highlights, if it's too bright, we can lower it down. And it looks pretty good. What else can we do? Brightness, contrast. This is probably the most useful one. Adjust brightness and contrast. So the adjustment of the brightness, we can make it a little brighter, like that, or a little darker, like that. I like it a little darker. It adds more punch. Contrast, we can increase it as well. That's too much. Even that might be too much. We'll do 0.05. 0.005. Now that looks good. You press OK. So that's your brightness adjustment and your contrast adjustment. Everything seems to be under colors for GIMP. Color balance is there. And now we're going to go to clone. Clone is right here. So click on it with your left hand mouse button. And then click with your right hand mouse button and the menu comes up. We got clone now. So now it says at the bottom, control, click to set a new clone source. So you control and you click with your left mouse button and you see it's created a circle. That's where it's cloning from. You'll see it move as we clone over the hand. Now we're going to work on the harder part where it's the hand. We're going to zoom in. So go to view and then zoom in. And we could do that one more time. Now we could really see what we're doing. Let's click here. Control, click. And right up here as well. Making sure not to get too close. Control down here. And the secret is always to clone relatively close to where you're working so that it tends to blend in with the colors that are nearby. So now we're going to clone from up here. Let's zoom in a little more. View, zoom in. We want to make sure that we tidy it up as much as possible. There we go. Now we can make the brush a little bigger. So go over here to size. Oh yeah, and if it's not showing, you want to click on tool options. So that's right hand click with your mouse and then tool options and it shows up. Size is down here. We want to make it much bigger. Oh. And force could be more. That's how quickly it covers the area. Because we're now dealing with an area further away. So we don't have to worry so much. And so the thing to remember is it is control and left hand mouse click to select. Control left hand mouse to select, and then hold down your left hand mouse and move it over the places that you want to clone out. Now I'm going to make it even bigger. Control left hand mouse. Control left hand mouse. click down. Control left hand mouse, click down. We want to try and make it look like the same fabric, same texture and stuff. So one smooth motion. One smooth motion. And now down here. Control C. Control left hand mouse, click. Control up here, go down here. Control up here, go down here. We just want to keep that color kind of constant. Control, click. And we'll do some more down here. And we're getting rid of some of the wrinkles just because we don't want it to look like it's at the edge. We want to expand it a little further. I apologize for this taking so long, but it is a timely process. It takes time. Part of it is just the software in the computer. It can only go so fast. So now the top looks pretty good. Now we just got to work on the bottom. We use the same cloning area up top to keep the color mostly consistent. When you do long strokes, it looks nicer too than short strokes. High continuation. We're just finishing up the last little bit. Sometimes you just got to be patient. The software is a little slow, but it's doing a lot of work. It has to sample the area and then clone it. So it is working hard. Okay, now let's go to view. Zoom out. And now we get to see that there's a little bit more that we have to do over here. Now we could take from over here and we could make it lighter. I think that looks better. Sometimes it's just a matter of doing it and then looking at it and trying to figure out what you could do differently to make it a little better. See, I like that color better. The only thing is it keeps wanting to copy the hat because the clone part moves as well. So we have to be a little careful and just go slowly. Now that we got this part done, we can copy from here. Clone over here, control, left hand mouse, control, left hand mouse, control, left hand mouse, Control left hand mouse. Now we could work on just getting the texture right. It takes time, but it's a work of love. Control click. Control click. So that looks pretty good now. The idea is to try and make it look as realistic as possible. You just kind of blend it all in. And so you saw, first of all, what we did was just to get rid of the stuff that we didn't want and paying particular attention to areas that we want to get close to, but without overlapping certain areas. And then when that's all done, you can do more tidying up where you look for the same kind of texture just to smooth it out so it doesn't look so obvious that you did one part of the picture and not the rest of the picture. Now we're going to clone some of the floor here. Again, going over it a couple times. There we go. That looks pretty good. So it's been a long lesson, but a very important lesson. And you can see how you have to just keep working at it. You can't give up. If you make a mistake, you go to Edit, Undo Clone, and it will go back. There we go. So view, zoom out, view, zoom out. And you can see that's what it looks like. Looks pretty good. Now we could also do a cloning as well. Cropping as well. The crop tool is up here. And when you click on it, it usually says a little tip like here, Shift and C, but you don't have to do shortcuts. And that looks pretty good. I think I'm going to leave it as is. And then when you want to crop it, you just hit the Enter or Shift button. So now we've gone over colors, brightness, contrast, exposure to change the brightness, and shadows and highlights. We've done cloning, which is over here, and we've done the crop tool, which is over here. So that's a very good start. And now to save, file, save as. It automatically saves as XCF file. Now if you want to change the file type, you go to Export as, and then you could go Show All Files, or here, Select File Type by extension, and you have all these different types of files. There's JPEG, I like PNG just because it's a bigger file. And then export. And that's it. And now you just close it. Oh, wait, it's still spinning. Now we're going to check to make sure it's still there. Oh, PNG. And it was under GIMP, I think. Yeah. And if you ever have problems, you can always go back to the program, pull up the XCF, and redo it. So we'll do it again just to make sure. It's good practice. Here it is. Dog on Valentine backdrop XCF. File. Export as. We could go desktop, GIMP, PNG files, and then dog on Valentine backdrop.png. And there we go. So that's probably also the very important lesson right there is how to export it, because XCF might not be very useful for a lot of programs, but it's the GIMP's default. I like to check everything off. Export. And it says down here exporting. So it's working on it. I'm just waiting for it. It takes a few minutes. Now in my next video, I'm going to show you how to change the background, so we can actually copy another image on top of it. It says image exported too, so it's all done. So that's it for this tutorial.